Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the problem of scale and its impact on government function. The problem of scale, the size of a political unit in relation to its population and territory, has long been a fundamental concern in political theory and practice. As governments expand in size and jurisdiction, their capacity to govern effectively, maintain civic engagement, and respond to the needs of their citizens can diminish. The challenge lies in balancing administrative efficiency with political legitimacy and the preservation of liberty. From classical antiquity to modern federalism, the issue of scale has been a persistent concern for theorists and statesmen alike. In antiquity, political thinkers such as Plato and Aristotle emphasized the importance of limited scale in the ideal polis. For Plato, the ideal republic could only function with a small population where rulers and ruled maintained a shared understanding of the good. Similarly, Aristotle argued that a polis should be small enough for citizens to know one another and participate meaningfully in public affairs. He wrote, "To the size of states there is a limit, as there is to other things. A state that is too large cannot be well governed." This notion links scale with the cultivation of civic virtue, a prerequisite for a just and stable society. The Roman Republic demonstrated the difficulty of maintaining republican institutions over a vast and growing empire. As the Roman state expanded, its republican framework proved inadequate to manage distant provinces and integrate diverse peoples. Livy's histories illustrate the shift from civic participation to bureaucratic and military control as the republic gave way to imperial rule. This historical lesson would resonate with Enlightenment thinkers centuries later, who feared the corruption and despotism that could arise in large centralized states. In the early modern period, the problem of scale reemerged with the rise of absolute monarchies and nation-states. Thomas Hobbes argued for centralized authority in Leviathan, believing that only a sovereign with absolute power could provide peace and stability in a large, fractious society. However, others, such as Montesquieu and Rousseau, warned that liberty could not survive in such conditions. Rousseau, for instance, asserted that as the state grows larger, liberty diminishes. These concerns found powerful expression in the American founding, where the challenge of governing an expansive territory without sacrificing republican principles became a central issue. The American founders grappled with the problem of scale in the design of the Constitution. James Madison, writing in Federalist No. 10, famously challenged the classical view by arguing that a large republic could actually mitigate the dangers of faction and preserve liberty better than a small one. Yet even Madison acknowledged the administrative difficulties posed by scale. The solution adopted in the United States was a federalist system, a layered system of government that preserved local self-governance while allowing for centralized authority in matters of national importance. Thomas Jefferson was particularly concerned with scale as it related to civic education and local participation. He believed that liberty could only be preserved if citizens were actively involved in their communities and educated in the principles of republican government. To this end, he advocated for a system of wards or small districts where citizens could exercise real influence over local affairs. Jefferson wrote, "It is by dividing and subdividing these republics until we come to the representation of every man by himself that all will be done for the best." For Jefferson, maintaining political accountability and cultivating civic virtue required keeping government as close to the people as possible. In modern context, the problem of scale remains. As national governments grow in complexity and scope, there is often a loss of responsiveness and public trust. Bureaucracies become more opaque, and citizens feel increasingly alienated from the political process. The challenge today is to develop institutional frameworks that preserve the advantages of large-scale coordination while maintaining meaningful local autonomy and democratic participation. In sum, the problem of scale is central to the question of how governments can effectively operate and meet the needs of their populations. History teaches that size alone does not guarantee strength, and that liberty, civic virtue, and responsiveness are often best preserved in smaller, more participatory political units. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your ideas and thoughts this class, and I wish you all the best.